Hi, this is Shelly Kraft. We're coming to you live on SNNLive On Location. I have Russ Weigel, attorney at law. He has a PA firm in Florida. I want to welcome you to SNN Live.
Shelly, thank you for having me.
It's good to have you. So, you're an attorney. What kind of attorney?
I practice securities law exclusively.
So, I'm a public or private company, and I need a lawyer. Who am I going to call?
You're going to call me and my firm.
I was going to go with Ghostbusters, but I won't. Let's ask ourselves a question. When should a company come to you? And what can you do to help them either in the going public process?
Well, sooner rather than later. We'd like to be involved as soon as possible in any process, especially for capital raising issues. We can help them think about the process and get their ducks in a row. We can help them get organized, and this is all necessary anyway to do a capital raise. When they actually are lining the documents up, we'll be the ones helping prepare the offering documents, agreements, resolutions, whatever they need to fully disclose their deal.
So Russ, let's talk about some of the documents that you do for some of these companies. Describe them. What are they? S1s, for instance, etc.
Right. Typically, in a capital raise, it depends on the size of the deal and the nature of the investors, but it could be simply just doing contractual agreements if the investors are few and they're sophisticated. Or it can range to doing a full-blown private offering memorandum or S1 or S4 type of registration statement.
So what do you think is going on in the industry these days? You have your pulse on it. Talk to me.
Well, we are in I would say at least a transitional phase. I think there's a lot of pushback from government sources, state and federal, who are trying to control the industry. The industry and the public, I think, are pushing back in a very large way here. And we've seen legislative changes that have been just monumental in the past year, the Jobs Act for one. And although it's been passed as legislation, the SEC has been putting its brakes on to implement it, and I think deliberately. There's pushback, there's tension. The regulators don't like what's going on. They want to control things. The public needs capital, and they need jobs. And not everybody is in agreement on how that should best play out.
So when a company comes to you, what direction do you generally put them in? Stay private, go public? I know it depends on the circumstances, but with what you just said about the tension between the regulators and the industry, what's kind of like, how does the advice become meritorious?
The safer way for most companies, I think, at this point is to stay private if they can. One of the benefits of the Jobs Act is simply that they will, when the rules come out, they will be able to do advertised general solicitations for Regulation D, Rule 506 offerings, which is a huge change when it goes into effect. Right now, you can't advertise those things, and so when it does happen, it'll open up a much larger pool of potential investors for any given deal. That will be a phenomenal change and a huge change for the industry. And we're not there yet, but because you can do that, and because you can do the standard Rule 506 offering right now, there's really not a good reason to go and incur the additional expense of becoming a reporting company, a public reporting company. And so I think the safer way is to stay private.
And then when the atmosphere of regulation, or perhaps the industry in general, changes, you're already, it sounds, prepared to be a public company in one way or another.
Our clients should be ready to be public. As an exit strategy for investors, that will be certainly a discussion we'll be having, because investors don't necessarily want to stay in the company indefinitely, and there are rules that will allow them to get out, but the company's got to play along, and so we'll be setting them up for that event, that liquidity event in the future.
ladies and gentlemen, to get in touch with this man and to make him your attorney, you have to go to the following website.
It's www.investmentattorneys.com. Investment singular, attorneys plural.
Is there an IES or apostrophe S?
It's an EYS, attorneys, ATTORNEYS.com.
Now that we cleared that up completely, ladies and gentlemen, Russ Weigel, attorney at law. I'm Shelly Kraft. This is SNN Live on Location. We are here in California. Let me thank you for coming on. Good to have you.
Thanks so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you.